what for me, one of the main positives of exposure to this RP material is that men have suddenly realized that you are the prize and not the woman. So if you
Exactly.
get yourself in good physical shape, if you get your socioeconomic status right, you make some money, you know, increase your earnings, you learn game. Game is
Yeah.
important, because a lot of guys have money but don't know game and they get finessed. So these three things will grow your confidence. Confident, you get competent in dealing with women, and that will come
Yes.
with confidence. So
Competence
your
breeds
confidence
confidence.
will come,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. The more competent you are in doing something, the more confidence you gain, and then the more success you're gonna have. So,
Exactly.
and I think that, yeah, that's what. Yeah. I think the thing with this whole RP community is you got to find your own unique space within it and then perfect it. Really show, Fresh Fit was unique about it. And they bring girls on, on the show
Yeah.
all the time, every night. And that's a very unique template. You don't see that. And people are seeing it, watching it. Wow, is that what the modern day woman is like? From 21 to 35, sometimes 40, they
Yeah.
all act the same. Lead
Yeah.
with emotion, followed by logic and reason. So but one thing I know for a fact is that the you've got to really consume this information with some caution, because the brain is plastic. Brain never stops growing. So as you become exposed to this kind of information, you process it. You might lean towards one side and then you might pull it back. So guys like Rollo Tomasi, Donovan Sharp, you mentioned, Coach Greg Adams, these guys, Richard Cooper.
Mhm.
I've got Richard Cooper's book, the Alpha, the something Alpha.
Yeah.
He says some good things, yeah, and he says some things which I don't agree with. I read it in the cold light of the day, and I say,
I think it's the unplugged.
yeah, the Unplugged
That's
Alpha,
something.
yeah.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
so Richard Cooper is the guy who's been through divorce, went with the single mom. The single mom took him through the mill, and now he's become, that's how everybody finds their RP awareness
Yeah.
through some sort of
Trauma. Yeah.
trauma. Yeah, some emotional trauma. You go through it, and that's some women really takes you through the mill. That's how you find, you find out why did she behave like that, and you seek answers. But I think what is more important is that, I was actually, sorry, just go back. I was interacting with this guy on one of the chats. I can't remember what it was. This 18-year-old guy, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm RP aware now. No women like." I said, "Listen, you're 18-year-old. You're consuming it. You're not a man. You haven't come across a nurse. You haven't come across the three dark triads, which
Yeah.
is even more dangerous than the modern day women: the narcissist, the Machiavellianism, the psychopathy. If you meet
Yeah.
women like that, she will show you one side for a year, and after a year, she becomes something else. You think, oh, I'm RP aware. I know how to deal with her, and then she changes her colors.
Yeah, because the
So
thing is this, yeah, you're right, because they have this, there's a certain level of, obviously, the level of chameleon that they'll be. And
yeah,
if you're going to be a year to two, at least 6 months to a year and a half,
yeah,
and you're consistent where you have set the frame for the relationship, and
yeah, yeah,
she's following you, then
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's difficult for them to fake it for at least a year and a half to 2 years, to fake the fact that they are following and submitting to you, and going with
yeah,
what's
yeah,
taking the relationship.
yeah. What for me, one of the main positives of exposure to this RP material is that men have suddenly realized that you are the prize and not the woman. So if you
Exactly.
get yourself in good physical shape, if you get your socioeconomic status right, you make some money, you know, increase your earnings, you learn game. Game is
Yeah.
important, because a lot of guys have money but don't know game and they get finessed. So these three things will grow your confidence. Confident, you get competent in dealing with women, and that will come
Yes.
with confidence. So
Competence
your
breeds
confidence
confidence.
will come,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. The more competent you are in doing something, the more confidence you gain, and then the more success you're gonna have. So,
Exactly.
and I think that, yeah, that's what a lot of guys need to take away from this. Now, even when you're dealing with women with all these awareness, you got to be careful how you drip feed. If it's a low interest woman, don't go full RP. She'll just, she'll just bounce. If
Yeah.
as a woman is highly interested, the more interested she is, the more you can be yourself and, be the alpha male that you want to be. So I think the journey for a lot of guys is still somewhat skewed, but the healthy part of it is making men much more emotionally healthy, realizes that actually, you know what, you do these things, and the byproduct of that is that you will now have a better experience dealing with the modern day woman.
For me, it boils down to two things. The first one is, once you become RP aware, it's not to stay there and stay within the red pill, to stay in that range, because it can quickly turn into becoming a black, where you go the black pill route and you become negative, and you just say, I'm not going to deal with them at all, and I'm not going to trust them. I'm going to live in my cocoon. And for me, you know what, some guys work for it, and so be it. But the problem is, for me, I want to look at things a bit more positive, but not to the point of delusion. So I would say to the guys that, especially to the young one you mentioned, the 18-year-old, work on yourself. Women don't even see you because you've got nothing. You're 18 years old. So work on getting your money. These are things I myself, a lot of things, obviously, as young man, when I was in my 20s, pushed towards, in my 30s also. And I'm now more aware that I'm 40, at what things that I need to prioritize and focus on. And as I also understand my worth, because the society and everyone around it, especially women, will tell you, I say to my friends that's single, that's 40, stop letting the society and your family and friends shame you to saying to you, why do you want a woman that is younger than you, 5 years, 10 years younger than you? You cradle snatching. I said, no, if you are a guy that wants a family, you are not going to take a 40-year-old chick, because there's going to be a lot of issues when it comes to her getting pregnant. So if you want to get married, and you want to now take that leap, and you've got yourself in order, your finances is decent, you are ready to be able to take on that responsibility, then take a partner that's gonna come in that would not have that type of issues. And if you can connect with a 28-year-old to 30, 31-year-old, I'll probably say 32-year-old, and then make it happen, and then have a family, because then you're gonna be able to have a family, not have that conception issues and those type of things that you'll have with a 40, 45-year-old. So, I mean, it's like you say, they always say, it's not if something is possible, but if it's probable. Because we always worry about possibilities. Yes, a 40, 45-year-old can get pregnant, but the probability of her getting pregnant is way less than a 30-year-old, or at least even younger, 25 to 30-year-old. So I would say keep it positive, not to the point of delusion, but also take this knowledge to not be sidetracked, or at least be how can I say, where you were kind of blindsided by certain things, because I never knew that she couldn't do that. I didn't know that he can do that in a business deal. I didn't know that my health. I thought I could just do what I want. It's like all these different facets, just implemented in each and everything when it comes to your health. Stay healthy. What do they say? The one word I always say to this guy, I said to him, stop. If you stop keeping fit, and you just eat what you want, and you just this dad bod, and you just don't care, and you're like, yeah, I got money, I can get woman. You want to at least, I tell him, you want to at least be fuckable. Go on, just look like, oh, what you want to, and then now I got money. I said, no, you need to be able to at least, you know what? No, something that's attractive.
You have to be able to genuine mutual desire. People talk about, oh, you want barely mutual desire, but you have to provoke it. And the only thing that provokes it is if you are physically attractive, whether you're good looking, you're in good physical shape. That's what it boils down to.
The package also, obviously, your fashion is on point. You know what you're about. The confidence comes along with it, and other things. You're in that entire package that they can look at, like, okay, I want to go see what's happening over there. That's ultimately what you have to put together.
It's very easy, and this is the thing, like, what, and this is where I have a problem with a lot of guys, because we have a massive advantage that God gave to us, which is biology. We don't come into our prime until our later years. I mean, when you're 40, 45, you're pretty much in your prime. You know, a woman, a 45-year-old woman, with all due respect, is, you know, is used good.
I explained to them the last time the fact that I'm not, I made the comparison between a 40-year-old guy and a 40-year-old woman. And the guys was like, no, there's no difference. I said to them, SMV or sexual market value says that there's the difference because the things that a man value in a woman, those things has gone down in a 40-year-old woman because her looks she has not been able to give you the child maybe, and her chance of being of conceiving goes down. As a guy, financially you are up. They look at you for what you can provide. So financially you are up. If you keep fit, you keep in shape, and you sort out your life. Those are all the things that they value. That's why we are further up the totem pole compared to a same 40-year-old.
For me, this is fact. This is fact. Women are born with approximately 2 million eggs. By the time they get to 30, 70% is gone. It goes down to about 300,000. By the time they get to 35, it's down to 30. That's what reduces the ability to bear children. So I think that response is a bit disingenuous when guys say, oh, there's not much difference. Let's be honest. You have the same woman, 30-year-old and 40-year-old. Which one would you pick? Let's be honest. Yeah, same woman, everything. She's 30, she's 40. Which one would you pick? Are you going to say, I don't mind? No, you're not. Let's be honest. You're going to pick the younger one because you know her SMV value is tied to her age.
And not just that, when it comes to also what the history is like, was she a 3 or 4? Does he have bodies stacked up, 100 bodies stacked under the bed? And some of the answers was, you know what? I don't think there's anything. Why is there difference between promiscuity? One of the things that I missed in saying to them on the call the last time was that her ability to be able to pair bond completely goes down with the more bodies and the more partners that she has. And that ultimately affects her ability to love the husband with genuine love and actually be for not just the self, but for him. Other than or just having the selfies, the more body she has, the more she becomes more selfish and factually, like you said, factually, DNA wise, the more DNA is collected within her body because that is actually something that I've read up a couple of months ago that the more guys a woman sleeps with, the DNA, some of the DNA stays in her body, and I mean. I don't know if that's a direct correlation where we see the depression rate in ladies at 40 going up. I don't know. I don't know because the more bodies you stack up. I mean, imagine the uncooperative type of woman you're gonna get at 40, 45 that's stuck in the and wants to do what she wants to do. It's not attractive to a guy. But I say to them on the flip side, a guy that's exactly the same, stuck in his ways, and when a woman comes into his life and tells him ABC and he says, you know what? No, it's my way or the highway. He is more attractive because he is that guy that's confident in himself. He knows who he is. He's not going to settle. That makes him actually more attractive to them.
Yeah, as a guy, this is the thing. As a guy, you got to put yourself in a position where you can call the shots. So your confidence, I'll say your money's up. You physically, you're good. You gain the confidence. So you don't have to take the bullshit. Even when you're married, even in marriage, you still have to keep growing. You still have to keep building. You can't get complacent because the hypergamy in women is nothing. You cannot. It's always live. It's like a ticking clock.
Exactly.
Even all the time, it's never dormant, regardless of the situation. So when guys say, "Oh, any woman you're dealing with after 30 years of age, you've got to tread with caution." After 30 years old, she's going to be carrying some traumas. Guys would have left their imprints on that, all kinds of things.
Exactly.
You've got to verify to the point where she proves herself. But unfortunately, a lot of guys, they see such women within a couple of months, sling a ring on it, do all kinds of things. I was actually speaking to one of my female friends yesterday, and she was saying that this guy that, oh, she's planning a wedding. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, she's planning a wedding for one of her friends with this guy that she met on a dating app. I was like, okay, how long they've been dating? Well, they met in February this year, and already they're planning to get married. I'm like, what?
So sounds more like taking what you can get.
Yeah. And I asked the guy, like, how old is the guy? The guy is 38 and she is 31.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So they've only been dating since February, let's just say 7, 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
That is not enough. For I said, guy,
when I look at Kevin Samuels, and when he talks about 6 months to a year, if you date, I think if you date for a year and you have put her through that ringer, and maybe in my opinion, I would say probably a year to 2 years for me would be a safe bet. Like I said, there's no chance for them to keep on being the chameleon in putting up an act for 2 years. I don't know. It's probably got some females that are pretty talented in doing that, but I doubt they'll be able to put up an act for so long and not be congruent and genuine in that's actually who they are. So you get to guys that you get to the point where you take what you can get, but also when you talked about guys that's married. I mean, I'm married, and for me, when it comes to my woman, we have an understanding. She knows when we make decisions and when things get put together, we talk about it and we go. But ultimately, if the decisions needs to be made and there's a tie, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be one that's gonna say, you know what, let's go with this, and then I'm gonna bear the brunt of that decision down the road, whether it's gonna be a good one or not. But the level of submissiveness as to allowing you to do that, because submissiveness in itself is power. Because it's a feminine power. It's not men that's dictating when it comes to being brash and dominant. But female power is being submissive. And if the more you are the man you're supposed to be, the more submissive you will be, and the more that you will have a life where things is not contentious and where you butting heads all the time in wanting to be dominant over the other, but accepting that. It's for me, I'm a Christian guy, so it's for me, God, man, woman, and the children, the family. We don't have kids yet, but I mean, that is for me is the order. So a lot of women, especially obviously modern women, that's definitely what they don't agree with. So I always say to myself, you know what, for the partner that I have and that I have grown with, she knows, she sits with me when we watch all these a lot of the videos talking about hypergamy, and I talk about it to her, saying that, you know what, the fact that you are not on Facebook or these places showing off your butt as a married woman, I see quite a few of them doing it. That shows that you have respect towards me and you have suppressed hypergamy, not to want to be online and go seek attention from men from the social networks. Like as guys you have to set the frame, maintain that frame, and if something's not happening, where you as a man feel disrespected or there's something that you don't agree with, don't shut up. Open your mouth, say something, and if you get told, this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna do, and you don't tell me, you probably need to reassess who you with, and if it's still a good investment to continue going forward. You know, you're not gonna just drop everything and go out at the door because of each and every argument. But I mean, obviously, if it builds up to a certain point where there's clear disrespect and there is not the foundation for the marriage or relation to be successful, then you obviously have to consider and cut your losses as a man. But the problem is, as men, we don't have the balls to do that.
Yeah. But this is the thing, like a lot of guys, this is what I'm saying. When you don't have it all together, you're already surrendering some frame. Because the woman is gonna, first of all, she's gonna respect you. And for her to respect you, she's got to see somebody who's a leader, who's more accomplished than her. So you make more money than her, you're more confident than her, you're more physically attractive than her. So women, that's why women tend to always look up. But so the danger for a lot of guys is that when they find a woman who's actually on par or maybe has a higher SMV value to them, and then they acquiesce to the woman's frame, they surrender frame because I think she's the prize. But if you got all these things together, you can date wherever. Like for me, with all due respect, you're married, and marriage ultimately is the best union to bring in kids into this world. So, you always have to, as a man, aspire for that union with the right woman. But it's also dangerous for a lot of guys in this modern day and age, in the sense that you've got to make sure that you're doing it with the right woman. And, we
There's
talk
no
about,
guarantees in life. I
yeah,
still say
yeah,
I'm not immune to anything happening with our relationship, and I'm not obviously saying that
yeah.
anything's gonna happen, God forbid. But
No, no,
the
no,
end of the
obviously not.
day
Yeah,
is end of the day is you still have you do what you need to do as a man. You focus on your
yeah,
purpose. You focus on steering the family, making
yeah,
sure
yeah, yeah,
we getting our finance to a level that we can achieve certain things,
yeah,
plans in place, and we are together chasing towards it. But again,
yeah,
if there's a call that needs to be made, you as the
yeah,
man need to say, you know what, I believe this
yeah,
is the best course within me to take. It's a tie, and we're not
yeah,
seeing
yeah,
eye
yeah,
to eye on this, but this is where we're going to go. And
yeah,
sometimes you have to then take that decision and stand with the consequences of that decision as well to make it
yeah, yeah,
work. But
yeah,
but
yeah,
also you can't just be you can't there's no guarantees in life. That's my ultimate point. There's
yeah.
no guarantees in life.
No, no. But one thing I would say that I was you need to have been in it. You need to be in a healthy relationship for you to be able to openly have this conversation. So
Yeah,
much respect to you. You know, you're obviously in a very a good situation, a healthy situation, be able to openly consume and discuss these issues, which
yeah.
sometimes within the context of a marriage can cause some friction. So yeah, you've got you've got the right balance. But for a lot of guys, it's a huge risk. I've got
Mm.
married friends where where I talk about certain things like, oh, no, 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 I can't do that. My woman's going to do this. And, I'm
Wait,
like,
wait, yes, she's
really?
coming. She's coming. Shh,
Yeah, yeah,
coming.
yeah. I was out with this guy a couple of months ago, and his girl was calling, so I have to go home. And he goes, oh, and I was saying to her, what, she cooked for you? He goes, no, 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 I can cook. I'm like, what? You mean she hasn't cooked for you? There's no food at home. And he was like, oh, no, no, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm like, what? He was so uncomfortable talking about it. And you see, this is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
you once you get to once you surrender frame, there's no way back.
yeah.
Once you surrender from the outset, because you set the boundaries of relationship from the outset. And for a lot of guys, when we talk about a year or 2 years, for me it's about milestones. What have you done to be able to get to that point where you want to get married?
Yeah.
So let's look at some of the things that if you're not dealing with a narcissist, I think 6 months of dating is pointless. First 6 months, call it the whirlwind phase. It doesn't count. It's after 6 months that real coming.
Yeah.
Have you been in each other's space long enough?
Yeah.
Have you been away, in outside your comfort zone where you're both out? Have you seen the patterns enough? Is she giving you time on a consistent basis? That's when you get to see things like, does she have a lot of male friends? Women are very good at hiding, all these backup plans that you don't see. You won't see these things, so
I hear you.
yeah. So for me, it's less about timescales and more about milestones. Have you accomplished the right milestones for you to then ascertain with confidence that I want to marry this woman? That could take a year, that could take 2 years, it could take 3 years, it could take more. Are you in a position financially? Do you own your own place? These are questions that, guys, you have to ask yourself. Do you have a sustainable profession to allow you to bring a child into this world? If she loses a job, is your income going to cover both of you?
Exactly.
And these are tangibles. We're very good at talking about these fairy tales. For a lot of guys, this guy is getting married after 8 months. It's quite clear this situation is not right.
But
you met some.
You're touching on a lot of the big things when it comes to the tangible things of setting your life up properly, making sure that you guys are solid. But but what I am seeing at the moment is the social network and the social media. Though they I don't know, I can't remember the exact saying, but it talks about small foxes spoil the vineyard or something like that. With small things, like for instance, if you like, I'm in the past when I was still dating. I left. I don't know if you've obviously heard of AMS, Alpha Male Strategies.
Yeah. I like AMS.
He
I
always
like
talks.
AMS.
He always talks about how he left a lot of pussy on the table because he did not accept certain things from certain females because he knew it would become a problem further down the road. So a lot of times you would ask, you've got a lot of male friends. Oh no, I had girlfriends. We were seeing each other. We were getting to know each other. We had our fun together. And then when we start moving, getting along to the next point where she's calling me a lot and we're seeing each other a lot. and then it could be the stage of being progressing. But then she's asking me more and more to invest. But the more and more I see every week you go out with a different guy for its friends, going for lunch or going for supper. And I was like, before we go exclusive, you need to stop seeing other guys and going out on dates on a Friday night. If you're telling me you're with friends or you got something else on, but you're going out with another guy for the date or going with a guy friend for lunch. I'm like, I said I mean, I'm a man. I'm not spending time with a woman or spending money with a woman if I don't want something out of her. No, you paranoid, blah, blah, blah. I said to her, you know what? For me, it's not going to work. It's a deal breaker. So I left some on the table because I just said to myself, I know down the road, all I'm setting myself up for is a whole lot of problems. And a lot of guys, small things, not wanting to give up social media, Instagram, posting photos. Sometimes I see some guys or friends that I know, their wives posting photos on Facebook or wherever, and I'm saying to myself, you have a husband. This is not the way a married woman puts photos on on social media for every man to see, because there's still a certain level of this is for your man. You can be sexy and you can want to still have a social profile, it's fine. But you still have to have a level of, if he wants to see who's that guy that's talking to you or wants to have a look at your IG or Facebook, then you shouldn't have a problem to show it. It's a lot of things, these small things that guys are overlooking that's already in a relationship and in a marriage. A lot of them are overlooking these things and not putting their foot down because, like you said, they've given frame away to a certain extent.
You surrendered it. Yeah, you surrendered it from the start. Yeah. And there's no comeback.
Maybe they've been where they've been looked at as this alpha husband, and she's happy to take to being with him because this is what the guy she wanted. But as the years go on, and because he's wanting to stick to this frame of happy wife, happy life, he kind of wants to do everything to make her happy. And the more he does those things to make her just happy, the more attraction is being lost because she's basically built a man that she now created this man. And we all know women don't love what they create.
No.